Hey everybody, Invisiblekatana here with week 4 of the quarantine. I keep forgetting every time I start. I'm like, I don't really know. I barely remember the days when it happens. If you didn't see the last one, I pretty much ended with this. And I mentioned, I'll explain where this hat comes from. So this is from Cancun, as you can see, yeah, right here. I got this in Mexico when I went for my aunt's wedding, and I actually don't really like this hat that much. Admittedly, I got it because I was actually there with my ex, and it was like one of the days where we were at the hotel. It's actually it was one of the all inclusive resorts, Las Playas Mujeres. Highly recommend it. Free food all day. Like you could just get pop and room service literally any time of the day, and like all the stuff in the mini fridge was free, and you could tell them what you wanted in there, and everything was super cool because they don't do plastic there. Like it's all the glass pop bottles and stuff, so it looks super sweet. But it was just like, yeah, you could be like, I want all Fanta or all Sprite and stuff, and I was like, this is amazing. Super unhealthy, but really good. I love orange pop, and I also love Sprite. Coke I'm okay with. I like cherry Coke more than regular. I like all the flavored Cokes more than any of the regular Cokes. Especially, I wish we had it here. And I don't know if I've mentioned this on this channel at all yet, but peach Coke is phenomenal. I feel like I have mentioned that at some point. But peach Coke is amazing. I know I've mentioned it actually because I had it in one of my Japan vlogs. Peach Coke is phenomenal. And a buddy of mine who went to Japan, he worked like for our job. He was sent over there. He was like, yeah, the strawberry, like not strawberries and lemons are like my favorite fruits. He was like, the strawberry Coke is really good, and I was like, I wish he didn't say that. So, at some point, I have to get back over to Japan or the company. I don't know what the deal is with companies where they won't bring stuff over here that's like weird, I guess, or out there because we have a million Coke flavors. I don't know why they wouldn't think like Japanese peach or at the very least strawberry. Like the Japanese peach, sure. I mean, I think it would still be fine because we have the Georgia peach, and I've had that. It's not nearly as good as like the Japanese peach because I think I said Japanese. So I would love to have that over here, and then the strawberry I think we should totally have over here, and then of course the other stuff that we're just missing, day and night in the States is definitely it might be everywhere. I'm not sure how it goes in other countries, but Japan is known for having all of the different crazy Kit Kat flavors. And I love them. I feel like I've talked about this maybe in another vlog. Oh well, if I did. Sorry. It's crazy. I barely know what day it is most of the time. But all the different Kit Kat flavors are really good. I have strawberry cheesecake, which actually, I have the boxes. I'm just gonna get the boxes. That's what this is for. Crazy stuff. Hopefully you can hear me from way over there as I grab these boxes that I got from Japan. So, cheesecake Kit Kats, strawberry cheesecake Kit Kats, and this was a special edition box, so it's Mount Fuji for anyone who's not familiar with Mount Fuji. That's why it's shaped this way. So they're not normally like that. So I kept this as a souvenir because it was a special edition thing. It says like World Heritage on top and stuff. So I kept this because I was like, that's super cool. So these were amazing. This cheesecake is phenomenal, and then strawberry cheesecake is more phenomenal. Um, that made me think of Power Rangers. More phenomenal is a word. And then these are sake flavors. These I didn't like as much, but that's just because I don't really like alcohol, like pretty much in any form. So they're fine. I'm trying to get the dust off of here. I haven't dusted this. I don't dust anything. I'm terrible at that. I'll clean up, but I'll never dust. But yeah, 2 sake flavors. These are pretty good. These actually kind of taste like sake. Like a lot of the stuff where you get like I've had wasabi Kit Kats and stuff like that, and it's like okay, yeah, it has that hint. Or wasabi is super weird because it's like yeah. It tastes kind of like wasabi, but it's not spicy in any way. It's still sweet. I've had mochi Kit Kats, the strawberry cheesecake, these sake ones. I bought some other ones. I think they were like raspberry something. They had like raspberry like bits on top. They were like crunchy on the top. And there's like some really fancy ones from Japan that are like maybe banana pudding or something like. They're like a really fancy. They come in like this big. It's like a black box with like gold lettering and like a giant gold banana on the front. It's actually like a super fancy box. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, super fancy, but I'm not the biggest fan of banana, like in general. But I tried and I was like, oh, okay, it's interesting. I was like, not the biggest fan, but I don't know why they don't bring those things over to the States or to other countries as a whole. I don't really know what the deal is with that, but I love the flavors. Wish we had them here, especially the strawberry. Strawberry cheesecake would be amazing, or just strawberry, I guess it would be fine too. But sadly, you get Kit Kat, dark chocolate, and white chocolate, and that's typically it. It's easier to find stuff here. Like you could go to a comic book store now, and you can find all sorts of like Japanese snacks, and you can get haichu like pretty much anywhere. That used to be rare, but now it's like haichu is almost super common over here, which is really interesting. But you can get all sorts of stuff now if you go to comic stores or find like some random little anime shop. They'll always have the flavored Kit Kats. I recently had, I want to say it was apple pie. I think it was an apple pie Kit Kat, and it was actually pretty good. I don't even like apple pie, and I was like, oh yeah, it's got that flavor, it's got the rum and everything. It's weird like how they get the flavor so accurate in a Kit Kat, but it was really good. But to go backwards to the hat and being in Mexico and stuff, don't really like the hat too much. It was just that one of the nights they had like this big thing where it was just a bunch of people basically were like little vendors selling stuff. So you kind of go through and it was like you get all sorts of souvenirs that you can't get just from the actual resort itself. It was like very specialized stuff. You get like chessboards that were carved and things, cool random stuff. And so it was like, of course, because of the channel, that's kind of how the hat thing really came about. So it was like, oh, there's a hat. My ex at the time, or my girlfriend at the time, my ex, she was like, oh, it's a nice hat and stuff. And the guy was like, oh, yeah, totally, but here you go. Like, he put it on, he ripped that tag off so fast because it was like, oh, yeah, it looks good. He yanked that junk off so quick. He wanted that money. It was really funny. But I was like, yeah, it's cool. And I was like, yeah, okay. What I did like was this. I actually am one of the weird people that like my hats to be flat. I don't know why. I just hate the curved brim. Like, if I actually played baseball, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'll curve the rim. Sure. I like all mine to just be flat. I don't know why. I've just always enjoyed that. I just prefer it when it's flat. I don't like when it's bent up because to me, even though my hair is insane and I should show you guys, I just don't like that look. I just prefer it flat. That's why all my other hats are like that because I don't know. I just feel like it looks better personally. That like I said, that's my personal opinion. It's kind of a big thing in sports that it's like that. But I feel like when people buy hats normally, that's what they do is they keep them flat. It's like I feel like it's mostly a sports thing where you actually like curve the rim. And that's really only in baseball. It's like the only sport that I can really think of where people wear hats anyway that are actually like, they're baseball caps. Other than that, you don't wear it. You have a helmet for football, or, American football. You wear nothing for football. Yeah, everything else, you don't have anything. Golf, you'll have, probably Kangol. I don't know if that's actually still a thing. I do like Kangol hats, though. But yeah, you don't really see people. I'm sure in golf people probably do just have the classic, sort of cap. But yeah, it's just one of those interesting things. So maybe golf and baseball are really the only two times you actually see that happen. But I feel like outside of sports, people like to keep it flat. And I think that's probably a newer thing in general since it's gotten more into like the fashion realm than the sport realm where it transitioned from like, oh, it's a baseball cap or, you wear it when you golf. And it transitioned into like, everyone makes caps now. You get caps, like me, I have caps for video games and anime and stuff like that. So I think when it transitioned from sort of the baseball aesthetic to more fashion aesthetic, it went from kind of this to just be like, well, let's keep it flat because that makes it pristine and stuff like it. It keeps the look, I guess. And I just personally like I've never, I don't know. That's just always been me. Like ever since I was a kid, I've always been like, I just don't like it when it's curved. It just looks weird to me. Like it feels, I don't know, something about it just looks odd to me. It looks off. So I think the design in general is just kind of okay. Like I never wear this hat. Like I'll wear my other hats. I typically don't as much as I used to outdoors. I'll probably start in the summer. Who knows if I actually even get to experience the summer, I might. But yeah, like it was just one of those things where like in the mall I was like, yeah, I do, I buy a lot of hats. Why not get one? I used to collect shot glasses and stuff for all the places I went. And I was like, oh, well, since I get all my hats and stuff, why not kind of have a hat for the first time I was ever in Mexico? But it's like, I don't really like the hat that much. It's like, it's so specific and it doesn't really look that cool. It's just like Machu Picchu. And it's just like, yeah, it doesn't really look cool. And it's a brown hat. I mean, not that brown hats can't look cool. This one just doesn't to me. So it was just like one of those things where like I got it and it was just like, yeah, it looks nice on me or whatever. And I was just like, I never touched this thing. That's why I forgot I had it. And I was literally just in my room and I was like getting a shirt. And then I like looked on my dress and I was like, oh, I actually do have a hat to find. So here you go. This should officially be the last one. It was the only one that was in my room. So everything should be good. I went through all the hats. I went through the helmet. I did the bunny ears. I even did the mask. I did I did something else that's over. Oh, the other Japanese hat that I have, the little beanie one. Did my grandfather's hat. Did the Naruto hat, which I still need to do because I only did that in like a tiny segment, which I probably didn't even end up putting in the last video. I'm not 100% certain. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So, random little thing, but it is Sunday. It's Easter Sunday. And that's kind of the start to my week. It's like 5 or 6 right now, I think, too. Let me see. Yeah, it's 5:54. It's just been kind of a crappy day. Like I've kind of just been like, I don't want to do anything. I don't, I was thinking about going to my dad's and stuff. I didn't even call him today. Like I didn't even bother calling him or anything. I was just like, I just don't want to. I just wanted to like be by myself. Even though that's mostly what I've been doing anyway. But I was just like, yeah, I kind of don't want to even talk to people. I just want to just sit and like, I don't even have the mental energy to like get into my videos. But since I've like filmed, I probably will. At the very least, I'll edit. I want to get into my gaming videos again. I feel like that's what I need to do. I feel like I need to just play some games and just kind of relax. I still have a little bit of pizza too. Um, so, no, I shouldn't have said it out loud because now I want to eat it. But that's kind of how Sunday's been. It's been low energy, and I just haven't really been like in a happy mood. So I'm just like, yeah, Easter. Well, Easter has never meant anything to me personally. So Sunday. It's Sunday, but yeah, it's the start of the week, and dang, I just remembered something. I'll do it tomorrow. I just remembered something that I wanted to do starting this week, but that'll be tomorrow. So I will see you guys tomorrow. So it is a Monday. I'm high currently, and as you can see, in cosplay right now. This is the thing I was talking about yesterday, where I was like, "Oh crap, I forgot." I want to do like cosplay stuff. I'm like, you're sitting here, high, day in, day out, nothing to do, nowhere to go, nowhere safe at least. And so I was like, man, I got my nerdy cosplay jackets. Technically, I only have two, but I got a bunch of nerdy hoodies. I was like, it'd be cool, just wear all my nerdy stuff. Because typically, I just throw a shirt on, so I don't think about it. Like typically, when I do like my reviews on the channel, it's like, okay, if I'm doing like, well, heck, the only thing I'm currently doing, Clone Wars. Typically, if I'm doing Clone Wars, I'll grab a Star Wars shirt, and because I'm a giant Star Wars nerd, fortunately, I have enough, to kind of last me where I can go through until I have to wash clothes, and I'm not just like washing shirts every week. But I'll pick a Star Wars shirt. I got, I have a glow in the dark one for. Dang. I'm so high, I can't remember. All I can think is The Lost Hope. A New Hope. There it is. Man, I'm like, this is wrong. All I had in my head was like The Lost. And I'm like, that's not cool. The Lost Hope would be cool. Like, that would be a cool dark Star Wars story. Recently heard Darth Maul might be coming back for some Mandalorian season 2 stuff. That's interesting. That's what they said. That's what I've heard. I've heard season 2, but it's interesting. Well, I guess it's not that crazy, but they dole out the information over time. So of course that wasn't put out yet. It's the first thing. It was the Ahsoka Tano stuff, but that is really interesting. I love me some Darth Maul, so we'll see what happens. Because I would love that. I like shed like a single nerd tear when I saw this is spoilers, very slight spoilers, although who the hell knows what's gonna happen with Star Wars, which is so sad. But at the end of Solo, official spoilers here, Darth Maul shows up at the end of that movie. And when that happened, because I'm like, oh man, I love Darth Maul. Star Wars, Clone Wars, watch Star Wars Rebels. And I'm like, oh, I'm ready to go see Solo. It's when things first got dark, and they've been dark. There's a dark cloud over Star Wars right now. But hopefully, it comes in waves. We'll keep on with this final season of Clone Wars, which seems to be really, really good. I'm looking forward to that. But to backtrack a little bit, Darth Maul, whatever the F I was saying, because I totally lost track because I'm so high right now. Oh man, I should have been recording my video games tonight. This hit me just right. What the F was I saying? Something about Darth Maul. Oh, I forgot. I went too deep. I went too deep into the story, and then I lost it. Nah. Well, I got Star Wars shirts. I got the new. Oh, Lost Hope would be cool. Dark Times. Love Darth Maul. Clone Wars. Yeah, I think that was pretty much it. It goes in waves, ups and downs of Star Wars. So it's pretty cool. But hopefully, we'll get into that. And then I had something else I was talking about. I don't remember. Here we go. Next topic. Book. I've got a package, not a record. I don't know what's happening, but I'm letting it go. I don't think I checked the Doctor Strange thing either. But I know it shipped. It definitely shipped. I just haven't checked how long it's going to really take. But we shall see. But no records, sadly. Like, I opened up the door today because I actually went out. I went to Culver's, which is a thing in the Midwest. Got some ice cream. I got a concrete mixer. I had a coupon, 2 for 1. Great thing about coupons, nobody's gonna take them right now because nobody's like, why touch extra stuff? Didn't even ask. It was just like blam blam, 5.55, 4.55. I'm like, no, that sounds too cool. It was 4.55, but yeah, I went out, got a 2 for 1. I ate I get Reese cup and Butterfinger. That's my thing. And it was decent. It was pretty quick. Went in, got my stuff, and I was gone. And I basically, they had gloves, and I just rubbed it. As soon as she handed me like both of the cups, I was like, thank you. Put one in, and I have like this giant thing of hand sanitizer. I think I mentioned before the germaphobe thing. I have a big jug of it, so I just have it in the front seat now. Normally, it's in the little sleeve in the back, but it's like crazy times. Everything I touch, I'm just like this. So she handed me like two moist cups and stuff, and I'm putting like hand sanitizer on them as I'm trying to drive because I'm just like, gotta just clean it down. Like my hand bumped the glove, and I was like, well, and that was like when I handed her the money, and it just like bloop. I was like, oh no, ain't touching the glove. Like I don't know if they switch gloves after every single person and how all that stuff goes. So it just like contaminate. Nope, and the germ be gone. But yeah, I went out, and once again the backtrack. That was all that happened. I went out and I got that, and then I came back. I just wanted ice cream. But I got this Back to the Future, the book. It's a pop classic book. It's like the kids' version of movies. And obviously, Back to the Future, cosplay stuff. I have a bunch of hoodies, bunch of video game hoodies. Maybe that's what I was talking about. Anyway, yeah, this will be happening. I think that was what I was supposed to talk about first. But yeah, Back to the Future. So I saw this online, and I was like, that's cool. That's a cool book. Of course, it's got this. I'm weird about sleeves. Like it's interesting because it's the same picture most of the time. Like there are books, like cool books, not like the Bible or Webster's Dictionary and stuff. Actually, Bibles don't have sleeves. What am I thinking? Never mind. Obviously, I don't read them, but Webster's dictionaries and stuff with the sleeve, you take that off, it's just like a green book, and it probably has like Webster's, etched in. It's not like cool. Most stuff though, is just like this one, where it's literally just a sleeve of the same picture. Like all the nerdy stuff is always that. So it's always weird to me where I'm like, I kind of get it because the point of a sleeve, I mean, it's a dust cover, I think is what they're technically called, which is interesting. But yeah, so it's for dust, but like, little bit of nicks and scratches and stuff. Oh, you tear it up enough and it's like, oh, well, that sucks. You get rid of the sleeve and then you still have your pristine picture for, double the time. So I get why they exist. I should really look the history of that up. Like, why would that be so important? Because it's not that big of a deal. It just seems like it just wastes money. So it's weird to be like, who thought of that? And it became like, oh, that's a genius idea. Like, why is this genius? Like, I need to know like where this truly comes from, because like no book needs a sleeve. So that's why it's like kind of half and half. But if it's rare, where somebody has like a different picture on the outside, I'd be like, okay, I see. That would be more interesting. But that's never what it really is. So I've always been like really weird about sleeves. Like, I want it on there, but I don't want it on there. Like, if it comes with it, I don't really want it. But yeah, I guess I just don't really think of that as much. Because, well, most books that I have don't come with sleeves, so maybe that's why I don't think about it as much anymore. But this is like the first one I've gotten in a while where it's like, here's the sleeve. Most stuff I get is like comic books, so that would be why. But point being, cool book. I assume it's cool. I haven't actually read through it, but it's Back to the Future, so it's got to be cool. And I was like, that's cool. That's a cool first step. So I might be picking up a few more of these because I saw Home Alone and Home Alone 2 and Ghostbusters, and I'm sure there was some other stuff that I didn't think was as cool as Home Alone or Ghostbusters, which those are pretty big, so that makes sense. Maybe Jurassic Park was there. I don't know. And I don't know if this is... this might be like the only one where it's just the first movie. I would love it if I could have found like a trilogy, like the trilogy. That would be so nerdy to have, but pretty sweet though. I love it. So thought that was pretty cool, and I love the imagery and stuff like that. And I've been seeing a weird amount of Back to the Future stuff too. In my like Twitter feed and stuff, I've just been seeing a bunch of. Well, I guess that's because that's what I like to look at every time I see something. Like click on Back to the Future. So that's probably why. But I've been seeing a lot of posts. People are like, man, I'm stuck indoors. I'm watching Back to the Future. I'm watching Back to the Future because it's amazing. So, got this. But yeah, might be picking up Home Alone 1 and 2. Um, Ghostbusters. Yeah, definitely some Ghostbusters. That's super cool. But yeah, got a package. Still don't know where I don't know where they are. The records are somewhere. I'm just hoping. I'm just waiting. I'm just look up at a starry night. But at some point they shall be here. It should be this week. Like I think my first date should be like the 16th or something like that. So they should be in. They should be in by the end of this vlog, which is what I'm really hoping. And I still haven't listened to like my Uncharted records and stuff like that. But yeah, it's Monday night, super high. The cosplay thing is going to come into effect. I think I mentioned I have the Back to the Future jacket. So I don't know. I don't remember if I actually explained it or not, but you'll be seeing this more. So yeah, look forward to that, I guess. Everything else is just like nerdy hoodies, so that'll probably give me some more topics. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but repetition. Measure twice, cut once. But that's Monday. And man, I should have done my gaming videos. But I'm watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm pretty sure I didn't mention that, or that was like the first thing I said. But I'm watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, catching up on some episodes I had no idea that I missed. Like, I realized I didn't finish the second season or third season of Atlanta either. I realized I saw a random YouTube video and I was like, oh, okay, hell, I don't recognize any of these moments. And I was like, hold on, that wasn't the season finale? Because I actually got up to the really crazy, it's not Teddy Ruxpin, because that's the bear. But whatever that the crazy character was, I thought that was the season finale because I just caught up and I watched it on Hulu. So I didn't have like previews or anything, and I was just like, "Oh man, that it was the sixth episode season is what I thought," and I was like, "Well, that sucks. It was super short." And then I saw this YouTube video, and I go on and I like caught up in the middle of the season. I didn't even finish like the last 6 or 7 episodes of the season. It was like 12 or something episodes. So I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I didn't realize I had a show to catch up on. Legion, I saw is finally on there. I am very excited because that went into its final season. I caught up on Preacher this year when it came out on Hulu, and that was pretty cool to see the final season of that. But I'm looking forward to Legion. I love Legion. That's a really crazy show. FX, it's about, I don't know. I mean, technically it's about Professor Xavier's son, and it's set in the 60s, which is technically comic accurate. But it's really, they don't really, say that. It's one of those weird ones, like the Fox stuff where it's like they can kind of talk about it, and plus it's on a TV show, so it's like you can reference it, but don't like totally say this or totally say that. So it's supposed to be, Legion is technically Professor X's son, but it's his son, yeah. And it's just great. It's an insane story. Like the first episode, and I think I reviewed seasons 1 and 2. At the very least, I know I reviewed season 1. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll review that just because it's one of the shows that I'm really reviewed. Although I didn't review Preacher. I don't think. Maybe I did. I can't remember. Every once in a while, I'll just be like, man, that's a show that's come and gone during my time of my little silly reviews on YouTube. So I'm like, I should just end it out. I've been thinking of doing that with that Batman cartoon for eons. That was the first show I think I reviewed really, and it got canceled, and I didn't realize until like way later, probably like years later actually, that the rest of the series actually did end up concluding, and it all came out on Toonami, and I found that out like way later, and I was like, I should do that. I should go back and review the last episodes because it was literally the first show that I did. It was like the Batman show that just ended, and then that was it. It was just gone. It's funny. I wonder. It'd be interesting how that would have played out if that stayed, because that was, I got like, actually I would say for when I started, I think I had fairly decent views on those. It would have been interesting to see if that show really went on, if I was like one of the first people really reviewing it. That'd be interesting how that would have turned out. But probably still would have been silly. Just me just being like, I want to review every show, which was insane at the time. I was doing reviews every day at one point, which is weird. But it's an interesting journey. So, who knows? Maybe I'll do a review for Legion. But it is Monday. it's still Monday. It's only 9:53. Okay, that's good. Thought I want to eat that other concrete mixer. Hmm. I'm not sure you'll see a victorious man tomorrow, but I'll see you guys then. So it is Tuesday today. As you can see, Back to the Future, Back to the Future. I have this Legend of Zelda shirt. That's also Back to the Future. And I want to wear this one. I was looking through my shirts. I was like, man, where is that Back to the Future shirt? And I was like, I should just go with my Legend of Zelda one because I think it's cool. I like this one. As you can see, same location as yesterday. I'm not high right now. It was just a depressed day. Like I didn't do anything. Like genuinely like depression. So I didn't do anything. And plus my camera and light were just sitting here. So I was like, laziness. I don't have the energy to like care about that today. So it's been a depression day. I just been sitting around. I think like the first, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours of the day, I just sat on my couch. Like I sat in my little chair and then I sat on the couch. I think I fell asleep on the couch too. But I know like the first full hour that I woke up, I just sat on the couch. Which I didn't realize until like my mom had called me because I had talked to my dad. He said he was going to Costco. Once again, he's always traveling. I'm like, what? Why isn't he stocked? But he said he was going to Costco, and we had talked recently about like how I need a vacuum because I have carpet. My last place was wood, so I was like, oh, I don't need a vacuum. I bought one of those little. It looks like the movie theater roller things, but it has an actual motor in it. And I was like, all right, well, if it's just it's laminate floors, you don't need vacuum. Nothing's like falling in between. Everything's just there. You just like get a Swiffer and dust. I had the wet one so I could like dust and mop, and it was perfect. And I mostly used the little thing when I cut my hair, which I still use it now. But it's like I can't really use it here. It's not that strong. It's just like a little roller thing with the tiny motor in it. So I was like, I actually need a vacuum because of course I have carpet now. He was like, "You want me to get a vacuum?" And I was like, "Sure." And that was like this. No, I wasn't this morning. I think I woke up at 2. What time is it anyway? It's 6:42 right now. But I'm pretty sure I woke up at like 1 or 2 or I woke up at some point during the day. Um, and I just haven't heard from him since. I was like, "Sure," and it was like, "All right, I'm going to Costco." I assumed he meant like he was going to Costco and he would probably see me in a few hours because he was like, I'll call before I stop over. And I just haven't heard from him since. That was hours ago. And I was like, maybe he forgot. Maybe I don't know if he actually even went or what the deal was, but it was perfectly fine because I don't really want to talk to anybody today. Um, but I'm going to Buffalo Wild Wings because depressed day, and I have like no desire to cook, and I definitely like I need something beyond just like my frozen dinners. Like I need something to just feel good. So I was like, I'm gonna go ahead get my wings, my buy one get one. Hopefully they're sauced, which they typically are because they're traditional today. Honestly, if it wasn't for the depression, I would not be getting these wings today. I know that for sure because it's not like a craving thing where I'm like, oh man, I like really want hot wings or this and that. It's genuinely just like I just want something good. Like all I've done is just sit. Like I watched Legion season 3 today, or I'm currently watching. I didn't like finish the whole thing. Like I watched the season 14 finale of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I love that show. So I finished that last episode. That was the last one I had from like my mini marathon yesterday with that in Atlanta. So I officially caught up on both of those. And then I was like, all right, I watched the season 2 finale of Legion just so I can remember because it's been I don't know how long since I actually watched that show. Obviously, with it being on Hulu, it wasn't just like the next year, the next season. It was like no, that was probably like 2 years ago, if not a little longer. I mean, it's the beginning of 2020. I'm pretty sure that came out in 2019 when they finished that season. So yeah, it's probably. I guess it's been almost, it's been like a year and a half, almost 2 years. So I didn't really remember much. I was like, I need to rewatch this season finale. So I went through that and then I caught up. That show is so crazy. This third season it's just as weird as the rest of the show. I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna go. I also hope the show didn't get canceled because there's like a very specific thing that got introduced with a new character, and I was like, huh, that seems like something that could go into another season, but I don't remember if the show like ended and they knew it was ending or if it got canceled and that's why it ended. So I'm hoping that when I get to the end of this, it's not a cliffhanger and it just like officially ends. Um, so I don't know. We'll see what happens because that happened with me with Into the Badlands, and I eventually caught up on Netflix, like because they split the third season in half, and in between the first half and second half, I found out that the show was ending, and I was like, okay. So with them having the cancellation, I thought they were gonna write an actual ending to the show because it was split, and I think it was like it was a decent amount of time. It was like months and months between the first half and the second half of the season. So when they announced in between that it was ending, I was like, oh, that sucks. And I think they did mention it was canceled, but I still thought that they'd have time to change it. And then I finally saw it on Netflix, and it ended on a cliffhanger, and I was so mad. I was like, I thought it like ended, and they were able to like wrap it up. And that's always the worst when you like a story and it just doesn't have a good ending. So, crazy. Yeah, that sucks. That always sucks. And I love that show. Into the Badlands is amazing. I don't know why they canceled that. Like, it's crazy how that show managed to be canceled. Like, it blows my mind because I love it. But unfortunately, that's the way things are. But watching through Legion, gonna get these wings. Hopefully, I'm not as depressed tomorrow. And that's pretty much it. Like, I haven't done much else. I did post a video. I published the video. It was technically already on the other channel, but I like published the latest Resident Evil video, and I'm trying to do that schedule. I really hope I'm not depressed tomorrow because I technically have to edit to make sure that I have one because I'm trying to do every other day. So I'm hoping I at least have. Then I'm gonna have to force my way through it. As most things anyway. So I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to edit the next video tomorrow anyway. But I don't know. I mean, some hot wings. I may or may not take an edible. I don't know. It doesn't. I don't really. Yeah, I don't know. I might do it. I might not do it. Don't really know. I do wish I played the games yesterday though, because I was cracking up with It's Always Sunny, but I kept thinking like, man, I should play the game because I think that was the first time I'd been high, probably in like a week or so. Like I don't really remember the last time I actually played, the game. And now I save everything specifically. Like as far as getting high, I tend to save that for when I'm playing the game. So yesterday was like super rare. I was like, I'm just gonna take an edible just to relax and stuff and go through with all the editing that I had done yesterday. So that is today. Tuesday, Tuesday, Depression Tuesday, I guess. But that's pretty much it. So tomorrow we'll depress or not, I'll have a different background tomorrow for sure. I still have to post every day. I keep forgetting it. I have to post the technically the invisible high thing. I think I've mentioned that for like the past 3 days or something. But I have to make that video. I just keep forgetting. I only think about it when I'm doing this, and then after I'm doing this, I'm probably editing or uploading a different video. So I never end up doing it. But probably by the end of this week. Also, we'll see what happens with these records. I just don't know. Like, there have been no updates since, probably not since the 9th, I think, or something like that. It's just in transit to next facility. So I don't know what in the world is going on. I assume that everything's cool. Nothing's so far said it was lost. I just assume it's because of, how crazy things are. They're just somewhere. But something got sent. It's weird. It's weird in my head because I'm like, is it fake? Is it not fake? But something was legitimately sent. So I don't think the person is a scammer. I think it really is just taking a weird amount of time. I still don't get the Kalamazoo thing and how it went from Kalamazoo to Pittsburgh. That still confuses me, even though I know it's a distribution center. That just seems weird that we wouldn't have something in Michigan or just some better way. I feel like there would just be there's just a better way to go from like the city's like I think Kalamazoo is like 2 hours or something from here. So it's just really weird. Like it's weird that there's no better way to figure that stuff out. So I just assume it's weird coronavirus stuff and them switching things around because of needing to put out essential stuff and things like that. So I totally understand. And I don't know if I mentioned this yesterday. I think that's why I got the Back to the Future book so fast because technically it's a kid's book. Like I even thought about that. Like I saw that in like a YouTube video or some other video. Or I think it was an Amazon person talking about it where they're like, yeah, kids books and stuff. I get that, stuff for children is essential. And then he was like, dildos are not essential. And I was like, got you there. People like them, but yeah, that's not essential. And it's like, it was just kind of funny. It's not funny because it's an insane situation, but it was just like the fact that someone has to. There have been a million things, I saw something today where they were talking about Jeff Bezos or Bezos, however you pronounce his name, and they said like if he gave $10,000 to every single person that applied for unemployment, which is like 3 point something million people, he'd still have like $80 billion. Like that's how crazy. That's how much money he has. I was like, that is nuts. But it's weird, the Amazon stuff and the shipping stuff in general, and just I'm sure it's even crazier for people being out there. Like I have a friend, and she mentioned like Mondays are insane. I would imagine because everything's bottlenecked and everything is online now. Like nobody's really going out to, I mean, especially in Michigan, you can't. It's not like I can go to a record store. Not that I could pick up, the ones that I bought anyway, but I couldn't go to a record store and pick out records. I can't go. Like when I was in Walmart, I'm pretty sure I can't buy anything as far as electronics go, because no one was back there, and they have the games are in the cases and stuff. So I don't think I could even do that. I could probably get the ones on the racks, and then as I pay for them, just take them up, and they have the things I think at all the registers, and they would clip it off, so it should be fine. But you can't you can't buy games, and not that I see anyone buying a TV, but you can't. I don't think you could really pick up a TV in stores. And it depends. Like I said, I only go to Walmart, and I just know that one time I went back there just to see what it was like. There wasn't someone at the register, which makes sense because it's like, why put someone in electronics when you got essential stuff going on? Although they still, I think I mentioned before, they still only had like 4 freaking lanes open, which is still insane. Haven't been back since that shopping trip, but that's Tuesday. Gonna go get these hot wings. Gonna maybe watch something else. I've been watching Legion all day. Legion's one of those shows you just got to be into it, and I was like, I think I'm kind of like slowly coming out of my depression a little bit. I'm moving around at least, so that's something. So I'm probably gonna watch like some funny stuff and just laugh, because I did that, like I said, with Sunny just to finish it out, and then I was like, all right, I just watched Legion, and it was actually a really good show to watch because it's a really mellow show. So I was like, it was kind of good to just like sink into it because I didn't want to have things be like too intense. So that's kind of been the day. Depression, it blows. Life. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, so it is Wednesday night. It is basically Thursday. It is legitimately 11:57 right now. Today was another depressed day. I genuinely did like nothing. I finished Legion, which was a really good ending. Very cool, actually. So I watched Legion, and then I sat for some weird amount of time. I just sat on the couch, and then I went and I sat and laid in bed. After a while, I ended up going to Arby's, depressed, so comfort food. Got some chicken tenders. Obviously, you get curly fries, of course. And I got a Jamocha shake, which is what I always get when I go to Arby's, and I haven't been in forever, of course. So I was like, all right, if I'm going to be depressed, I'm going to get some comfort food. So we did that. Chicken, curly fries, Jamocha shake, delicious as always, although it tasted different, which was weird. Most of it tastes normal, and then there was like this one flavor, and I was like, that's not normally in there. So I don't know if it was like extra whipped cream or something was different. And I was like, like it just wasn't blended as much. So maybe it was like just more of the pure vanilla is what I was tasting. I'm like, I know this flavor, but I wouldn't get enough of the flavor to be able to like think on where I've actually had it. So I'm like, it must be like just plain vanilla shake or something, but it would be so mixed in. It would be like, it would hit my tongue, and then right after, the regular Jamocha shake would come in through the straw, so it would be like, and then it would be gone. I'm like, it was back to normal, but I couldn't figure out what that weird new flavor was, but I did that. Of course, for the day, I decided to go with, this is my Mass Effect jacket that I got from Loot Crate. This is a Halo shirt, but it slightly fit because of just the blue and stuff, and that's the same reason I wore the hat, because I was like, it kind of fits with, like, the bluish and grayish tones. I don't really like this hoodie very much. I got it from Loot Crate during one of their specialty limited edition crates. It was when Mass Effect Andromeda was coming out, so that was a big thing. Everybody was excited. That was before everybody was disappointed by the game. I never ended up buying it. I love, like a lot of people, I do love the original trilogy for Mass Effect, and it just sucked, to hear that the game was so bad. And plus, I know that was supposed to be like a new trilogy or series or whatever. But once I heard it was like a disaster, I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to buy it because I know it ends on a cliffhanger. So sadly, this is all I got. So I got this. I got 2, those like spiral liquor glasses, I guess. And then I got like a little version of the Mako, I think is what it's called. And I'm sure there's something else in there. I got a medallion as well. And I think that was it. I'm pretty sure that was it. So it was this, the glasses, the medallion, and then like the little car or little vehicle, whatever you want to call it. So that was, it was an interesting crate. It was like, ultimately, I don't know if it was really worth getting, but I got the hoodie, even though I don't really like the hoodie. And also I got it in medium because it was one of those times where I was like, should I get it? Should I not get it? I love Mass Effect, but do I want to get this crate? Do I not want to get this crate? And then by the time I like went on to check one other time, it was like, yeah, all the large sizes are gone. I was like, F it, I gotta buy it now because I'm gonna freak out if I don't know what's in this crate or if I don't end up getting it myself. So I bought it even though I knew it would be medium, but and I think it looks fine. It's not that it's not even the medium thing that's the problem. Like I knew that was gonna happen. I was like, okay, it's fine as long as I don't really zip it up. It tends to be okay. And even that isn't like the worst, except for the fact that it comes like straight up. But I think that has to do with the hoodie. So on my super nappy hair here, it's one of these. I hate these. I hate like I don't even understand like what why would I want my head encased like an egg? Like I hate these hoodies that have the super sharp like where it's your face. It looks weird and it feels weird too. So I hate that design. I just think it's the only hoodie I ever got that has that. And I remember as soon as I got it, I was like, huh. But I will put that at the end because I actually did a video for that unboxing. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, that will be, if I remember by the end of this week, that will be one of the end title cards for the video as my unboxing of the limited edition Mass Effect crate. Nothing else planned. I mean, other than doing nothing earlier, I'm about to exercise. I'm gonna shower. Then I'm gonna head to sleep, and that's pretty much it. I did find out that for whatever reason, I don't know what's going on with the Mel stuff. The one record that I had that was from New York is currently in Denver. Check that today. It's in Denver, Colorado. So I don't. It's not in Michigan. That's all I know. So I don't know what's happening. Eventually, I'll get those records. Honestly, I'm starting to feel like that's not going to be until next week. Excuse me, because everything is late at this point. Like even the first one that was supposed to be like, oh, it'll be here on the 13th or whatever. That's not happening. No, there's no new estimated updates or anything like that. And it's probably because of how crazy things are. It's just like, this was your estimated delivery date, and that didn't happen. And so now it's just like, who knows? We'll see what happens. All the basically the non-essential stuff kind of going through. So it's super weird. Once again, it's very confusing still because I still don't understand how it went from. Because when I checked it, I was like, I may not know where every single state is, but I'm fairly certain in my general vicinity, I know that New York is over here, Pittsburgh is like here, I'm like up here, and then Colorado's like way over there. And so I checked the map and I was like, yes, it is. Colorado is like that way if you're looking on the map like face down. And I'm like, it makes no sense. It went past the Pittsburgh thing. So I don't know what the weird channels are for how they're doing the UPS stuff, but it's super weird to me because or USPS I should say. But it's super weird because I'm like, okay, I'm kind of expecting things to get shipped to weird spots and not come like, straight to me like they normally would considering what we're dealing with. But it still feels so weird because I'm like, okay, I thought for sure with the packages that I had, the ones that were supposed to be, coming from my own state, being in Michigan and being sent to Pittsburgh, I was like, okay, so eventually my stuff's going to end up in the same spot. And the ones from the Mega Man record, that'll come in from New York. And of course it'll go to Pittsburgh because that's closer than Denver, Colorado. But for whatever reason, it went to Denver, Colorado. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on with the mail and why it's going to like these weird shipping facilities, and it's like it's not even going to the closest facility. So that's super weird to me. I don't know what's happening, but at some point I'll be getting my eBay stuff. So that might not be till the end of the month. Who the F knows? Because at this point things are just really weird. So I don't know what's happening with the records, but they'll be here eventually. Obviously I check it like every day because I'm like, where the F is my stuff? Everything just says in transit to next facility. That's like all it's saying. It's just like it's going somewhere. It's going somewhere. Like that's pretty much what every little thing says. Like it's moving, and that's it. It tells you the date and the time, which it's always just at midnight. I don't know if that's even a real scan. It's just every time I look at it, it's like yeah, it was scanned at midnight on this day, and then it's in transit to the next facility. I'm like, that's not even real because that was also like 2 days ago when it was in transit to the next facility. Like where these records go? Like the first two that I got. So it's very confusing. It's very weird. Who knows what's going to happen? No updated, estimated times or anything like that. So eventually is kind of how it's basically like, me waiting for Bayonetta 3. It's like, at some point, I think that's going to happen. I really hope it does. But we'll see. No news. So that's pretty much it. Still waiting on those records. I didn't check today, but I don't think I got my stimulus check. That's been like the big thing. I think more and more people have been getting them over the past couple of days. I didn't really check, so maybe I got it, maybe I didn't get it today. I don't know. I wouldn't expect me to have anything, good coming fast. So not that I really need it right now anyway, because I'm not going anywhere except for Arby's and other places to get unhealthy food. But other than that, I'm just waiting for these records. That's all that's happening. I still have to edit, obviously, Resident Evil. I'm supposed to have another episode out tomorrow if I'm sticking with my every other day schedule. So hopefully tomorrow, I won't be super depressed. I feel like I just get better as the night goes on, but when I start, it's just like, yeah, it's just a shitty existence. So that's kind of how the last 2 days have been. So hopefully tomorrow I'll be weaned off of that a little bit. And I'll definitely have to push myself, because I mentioned that yesterday. I was like, I got to push myself to edit, even if I am feeling depressed. And I didn't. I sat and I watched Legion until it finished. And as soon as it went off, I was just like, okay, I don't want to do anything. And like, I literally just turned the TV. Like, I was going to watch Archer. I was going to catch up on like the that space season that they had. And it was on an ad. And then I was just like, I don't want this. And I just turned the TV off and I just sat there. And then eventually I just got up and I laid in bed. So really depressed day. But I don't know. It's hard to say if today was worse than... They're both really bad. Probably today was probably worse. So maybe, ups and... I don't know. Who knows? Ups and downs. But yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Maybe I'll be depressed. Maybe I won't be. But I do feel better doing this video than I did yesterday. So it didn't take as long to come off of the depression, I guess. Or maybe that's my whole thing. I don't know. We'll see what happens, like I said, tomorrow. But for now, that was the day. Depressed day number 2. Didn't really do much. Actually, I did fold some stuff when I was watching YouTube. So I did something useful at the end. Because those clothes were definitely sitting there. I was like, this might be like a classic case of depression where I'm just like, I got them out. I mean, heck, even without depression, admittedly, those clothes would just sit there. Because it's not like I just took them out yesterday. They'd been sitting there for like maybe 3 or 4 days. And that had nothing to do with depression. That's just classic. Even when you're literally there, you're indoors 24/7, even in a quarantine, I will take them out of the dryer and just be like, I just don't want to, though. I just don't want to fold. And they'll just sit there. They'll just sit there. And so, fortunately, I did end up doing that. And I won't have to be moving back and forth when I do my gaming videos. Actually, I did a gaming video yesterday. I'm pretty sure that was yesterday. I think it was. Maybe that was the day before. I'm pretty sure that was yesterday, because I think I took an edible. I don't remember much. It's hard to remember like the passage of time when you get like super depressed. It's kind of like time skips over and you're like, oh crap, it's been an hour and a half, and I've just been in bed for the past hour and a half. I've been laying down. So I'm pretty sure that was yesterday, but I did record my last gaming video for Control because I beat it, and that was super cool. I was very surprised by that because I thought I was going to have to do like 2 or 3 episodes trying to beat the same stupid thing, which you guys can check out on the channel. But there's one particular thing that I thought was going to take me forever, and it was one of those classic gaming moments where you just stress out over something a million times, and then you take off, a few days, and then you come back to the game and you do it, and it's just like, boom. I went through it in the first time, if I'm not mistaken. It's like spoilers for the episode, but it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I was very blown away by that. So I finished Control. I still have to upload Resident Evil. I have to pick a new game, so I have to start fairly soon. I mean, I still probably have I think I only uploaded the first 3 episodes of Resident Evil, so I'm pretty sure I have like 7 or 8 of them, something to that effect. Especially because I was high, so it took me a minute to actually get through the game. So I still have a bunch of episodes of that, to do like my every other day thing until I end up picking up my new game, whatever that may be. But for now, Resident Evil edits tomorrow, and I still need to obviously with the depression stuff, I haven't taken the time to do that official announcement. I know I've said that like 3 times already, but still got to do that announcement video so people watching the channel know, like, hey, you can check out the new channel, Invisible High, because I still have my doubts that even by the end of this week, I'll probably end up uploading this vlog before I make that video, depending on how this week ends up turning out. But that is, actually, it's probably Thursday now. Yeah, it's 12:09, so it's officially Thursday, but I'll still be wearing something different, so I'll technically just see you guys later. Hey everybody, it is Thursday, a less depressed day today. As you can see, I went back to the Street Fighter hoodie. It's probably like the 3rd closest when it comes to like cosplay outfits and stuff, and I decided to, of course, wear my Street Fighter shirt for this one. It says they call me Hadoken because I'm downright fierce. That's the combo. Funny nerd jokes. Like I said, less depressed. It was like a reverse depressed day. So I wasn't really depressed in the beginning of the day. It was closer to the end, or like now, but I feel all right. I'm like Barely high. I took an edible. I did get pizza again. It was enough for me to be like I need to leave and get comfort food. So it was enough. But the pizza was free. Well, it was like $5 because I have this thing. If some places it's cool to sign up for the rewards systems, it's not that bad. Domino's is pretty decent, and when I bought that last pizza, that was enough to get a free. It's a free medium. It's a one topping, if I'm not mistaken. So they charge you for whatever else you add on there. So it was like $5 because, of course, I was like, well, I also want bacon, ham, sausage, and jalapenos. So, those four extra things, which probably cost them like a grand total of 2.5 cents, and it was extra $5 for me. Although I guess technically, vegetables are somewhat expensive. Vegetables are cheap, more expensive than plastic probably, but well, it can be. The vegetables themselves are probably technically more expensive than the actual pizza because I think it's like 15 cents or it's something insane. It's like it costs like a quarter technically to make a pizza when it comes to like the ingredients and like the bulk and everything. So it's really interesting. So, shoot, I guess if it costs a quarter to make a pizza, it was probably like 2 cents for them. The $5 they charged was probably 2 cents. But I got pizza. It was good. I also bought pop. I bought two pops this time. I did buy Verner's because I've been screwing up. I'm not doing my classic Michigan move, which is something bad's happening. You need Verner's. It was made as medicine. I won't bother going into it again, but still, that's what you're supposed to do. So I got Verner's this time, and I got Faygo Black Cherry, which red pop is my number one when it comes to Faygo, but I don't know. Black cherry is really good. Like I love orange pop. So for me, orange pop is that like universal thing. Like all orange pop is like that's orange pop, and then I can drink it and it tastes fine. Orange pops do taste different, but for me, it's just like orange pop is orange pop. I'd probably say Faygo orange pop, Sunkist, and Fanta. I don't have a real rank for those. I'd have to. Maybe Sunkist. It's been a long time since I've had a Sunkist. Maybe that's why I like Sunkist so much because I feel like it's super hard to come across Sunkist anymore, and I only ever remember having it in cans. Like I don't think Sunkist made it to the point where they use plastic bottles. I feel like it's disappeared almost. Sunkist. I hope Sunkist is still a thing. I like that. But anyway, Faygo wise, red pop number one. Black cherry is a really good possible number two. It's hard to say. I really like orange pop. Like across the board, orange pop is fantastic. So it's like, I don't know. I really like orange pop. So it might be above black cherry. But black cherry, Faygo, really, really good pop. So I love that. So had some pop. I drank the black cherry, not the Verner's. Had some pop. Something random that happened getting the pizza. So I ordered it and I set the time for like 7 o'clock because when I was actually ordering it was like 5 something. I was like, well, I don't want to get it right now. I'll set it for later and then I can exercise and shower and all that stuff. So I was like, all right, I'll set it for like 7 o'clock or whatever. And I think I ended up switching it to like 6:15. And so I thought it was like 6:15 is when the order would like get put in. So that's where my head was. So I was like, oh, I was thinking it would be ready later. So I hit the thing and it was like, okay, your order is set for, like estimated pickup 6:05 to 6:15. And I was like, oh, well, I didn't realize that. I didn't know that that's what that meant. So I basically I was like, well, I don't have time to shower. I wanted to go first and like have the warm pizza and stuff, and then I get the pop and stuff on my way back. So I was like, all right, well, now I can't freaking shower. Screw it. I'll just go get it while it's hot and then just eat it and, shower after. So then I get there and I was like, yeah, order for Terrence. And they're like, oh, it's set for 7 p.m. And I was like, okay. The thing definitely said it was estimated pick because I assumed, I was like, I thought I was going back and forth and then I thought I switched it to 6:15 and that's why it was like 6:05 to 6:15, setup. And then I get there and it was like, oh yeah, it said it's set for 7. I was like, great. Because the little tracker thing, as soon as I clicked it, it was like 6 o'clock. And I was like, that's not what I wanted. So I was very confused. Apparently, I didn't even switch it off of 6:15 like I thought I did. So I don't know. Maybe that was the point. Like the 6:15, it was supposed to be ready by 6:15. So I think the estimated thing technically came up correctly. But for some reason, it didn't register that I actually switched it to 6:15 and it stayed at 7. So I went and there was no pizza. And then I was like, well, I guess I'll just come back. Because she did ask if I wanted to like have it boosted up. And it's such a short drive. I was like, it would be easier to just drive. Like, I mean, technically, I would have saved gas, but I was like, I could technically just drive back home, and I'd still have time to sit around, and then come back. Like, I noticed, it's enough time. So I was like, I'll just come back at 7. So then I left, and I got the pop and stuff, and then I dropped the pop off, and then I left right back out because the time that I spent doing that was the whole amount of time because I went Initially, I actually left and I was gonna go to get my car worked on. Excuse me, because I need an oil change. I needed an oil change in February. That's when I needed an oil change, and of course that didn't happen. And I always do that late. Like I'm really horrible with that. But I didn't do it, and then things happened, and I was like, I don't want to risk doing it now. But I was like, holy crap, because once my engine light and whatever, that's on all the freaking time. The oil light does not come on, and then that was like on and off, and I was like, that one, that one I focus on, that I pay attention to, because that's red. That's red, and it's hidden, so it's hard to find. So I went to do that, but the place was closed, which I'd heard that some places were open. Maybe the fact that it's just, it was an oil change place and not like your car needs, I mean, oil is essential. Um, you know what I mean? Not like that. Not like essential workers, but oil is essential to the car is what I meant. But I know some places are open and some places aren't. Maybe they closed super early because it was like 6 o'clock when I went to do it. So that could have also been the case. They just like, why be open until 6 o'clock with this stuff going on? So that's probably what it was. And I was like, oh, okay. So they were closed, but I was like, screw it. And I just went down that road, which technically took longer than it had I just gone on the freeway like I initially planned. So I was like, ah, screw it. And then I was going to stop at a different store. And I stopped at the store and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Right on the front window, because they were open before. They were open a couple weeks ago when I first got my Fago Red Pop. Right on there, closed for 2 weeks. I was like, somebody had it there. And I think that was, that was probably like 2 weeks ago now. So like it wasn't recent enough for me to be worried about it. So that's not happening. It's just like, that's interesting that happened. So it was like closed for 2 weeks. So I was like, all right, well, that was a waste then, because I went like the super long, slow way, and then I went into a parking lot to go to a store because it was at the end of like a little strip mall. So I went in the one way, and then went all the way down. I was like, oh, it's closed, and so then I just had to go out and get back on the street again, and then I went to CVS to get the pops, which they didn't have. So then I went to the gas station, which they were connected. I just had to hop over the little concrete barrier. So I hopped over the barrier, got Vernors, got my pop, hopped back over, got in the car, came here, dropped the pop off, and I was like, okay. And then I went right back out to get it. So I have not showered because I was like, I don't want to shower first. I just want to eat the pizza now. That was kind of the point. It's supposed to be like depression relief, and I'm like, I just want to get this freaking thing right. The thing came up wrong, so I ended up going super early. Went to CVS. They didn't have the pops. They did tempt me for a split second. Like I went past ice cream before I saw all the pops and stuff, and I was like, it's not what I'm here for. And they didn't have Reese's. Like honestly, if I saw like a Butterfinger cup or Moose Stretch, whatever, peanut butter and chocolate with some vanilla, I would have bought it. But they didn't have like Reese cup or they didn't have Butterfinger ice cream, so I was just like, meh, never mind. Like it just didn't hit me. I was like, it's got to be advanced right now, even though I'm looking for comfort food. Still gotta be on some level. I have some self respect. So didn't end up getting any ice cream. Then like I said, I had to go to the gas station and stuff. But got my pizza, got my pop. Don't have my records. I don't know what's happening. They'll get here eventually. I know I've been talking about. That's all I'd be thinking about. I think the one from Colorado actually ended up in Pittsburgh, at the Pittsburgh plant. So my daily update for that, it's the only one that has tracking too. I'm super freaked out, honestly, that they lost my Resident Evil one. The Doom one, I'm not worried about because I could find that again. The Resident Evil one was sold out way before I found it on eBay. Like it's been sold out because people go like insane for Resident Evil 2. So that record was sold out before the record for the Resident Evil 1 thing, which recently sold out, which is why I had to go back to eBay to get it like last minute. So I'm really freaking out that they lost it because I don't think I'll be able to find that thing for like a reasonable price anymore because it's been sold out for a super long time. So I'm freaking out about that now officially, where I'm like, oh man, like it didn't occur to me that like if right now it still could be super normal and totally easy. It's the fact that the scans are all blank. That's the thing that worries me because the Mega Man record from the Bronx, where I was like, for whatever reason, it was in Denver and now it's in Pittsburgh. It has that update though. I was like, it's interesting that seems to have that update, but the other stuff hasn't been scanned for like 2 days and is just in transit to next facility. And I'm freaking out now because it makes no sense. Like, where could those records be where they don't have stuff? They don't have like the information where they're scanned. So I'm really hoping that I get some good news soon, and that like all I need is a scan, even if it takes however long it's gonna take. If I know that I'm at least getting it, like it made it to the next spot, and I'm just freaking out more and more because it's taking forever, and then I don't have scans, and I'm like, it's just a record. All they have to do is trip the wrong way and just put like the tiniest bit of pressure, and bam, my record's gone. So now I'm like all in my head about it, where I'm like, oh man, I hope they don't lose my records. I hope they haven't been like smashed up or something insane, because it'll be hard to find that Resident Evil one. Like I said, the Doom one, actually, I recently found out the Doom one's going to be put in stock again on the Bethesda thing. So if you guys are interested, it says coming soon, but it didn't say that when I first checked. So I think that's official. I think they're actually doing another print of those records, and they're only like $35. So like I mentioned before, I paid like double because at the time they were actually sold out. And then I went back to look at something else, and I was like, well, that blows. And it just had like a new sticker on it, and it was like coming soon. I was like, great. So there's that. But the Resident Evil 2 one, that's going to be hard to come by. And I could probably find it again, but I think it would be fairly expensive. So I'm hoping they didn't lose my records. I know the Mega Man one's going to get here. No real update on the Doctor Strange robe. But yeah, that's kind of that's the record update for the day. I'm a bit worried about my first two purchases. So we'll see what happens, because they don't really have any extra info. And I'm pretty sure it was like the 16th, or I think the estimated date was today, was the 16th. The last update, I don't think it was even the 14th. I think it was the 13th. I think one of my records has an update on the 14th, but I think those first two that I bought together, I think those are still on the 13th. It could be the 14th, but still, it's the same thing. It's like, it's been 2 days. Where could they possibly be going when the cities are like, 3 and 5 hours away from me? So I don't know what's happening. I don't know how, there is no insanely far transit, which is why I'm at this point, I'm kind of just hoping like, okay, they just happen to be in the system right at a choke point, because like I said, the one from the Bronx, the Mega Man record, has been updated like a couple of different times. Like I've seen it go to different facilities, like boom, here's this update, and it's got new information way faster than the very first set of records I got. So that's why it freaks me out, because I'm like, I'm hoping it's just taking a while and it's not that they're lost. I've never had stuff get lost in the mail before, although I did have something get sent to the wrong address, which was weird. And then that came back to me, and it was kind of effed up. I think that's the thing. Whenever mail gets sent back to you, it's gonna come back jacked up. Because I sent it off to someone, and then it was just like, it didn't send to the correct email, even though they had their current address on there. It was through eBay as well, and it was like, we tried and it just wasn't working. I was like, just get the refund, because apparently they've lost. They didn't know what they were doing, so they lost it. And so I was like, okay, well, here's your refund. I wish I could have given you that stuff and also got some money, but the mail, the postal service screwed it up. And when it came back to me, it had like all sorts of new tape on it and stuff, and it was, like return this and that. I was like, they like destroyed this box. What happened? What was the mystery journey that this thing went on, where it was just like, it went, they couldn't deliver it to the right address, and then the whole return to sender thing took forever. Like I remember that taking a super long time too. It was just like, it was just in the ether for a while, and then it got back to me, and it was like, this is terrible shape. What did you guys do? So I've had my issues. Well, I guess that one particular issue as far as the mail service, but I hope my records are fine. I hope they make their way to me sooner rather than later. But that's about it. Oh, actually, that's not it. I got my money. I got my government cheese, if you will, because I checked it today. I was like, oh, I should check, because everybody's flipping out and they got their money. And I actually got it yesterday. I just hadn't checked. I'd been spending a bit of money recently, mostly because of the depression with the food stuff. So I was like, I should see how much money I got to make sure I'm not like, you don't realize how much you're spending sometimes when it's like a little bit here and a little bit there. So I was like, I should check before I start getting too much stuff, like when I did the pizza thing. So I got my government money in. So that was pretty cool. That was nice. I'll probably just pay my rent now, because that was kind of the thing. I normally split it up half and half, and I was like, oh, well, I can just do it now. Do it all. So that's pretty much it. I got my money. Not that big of a deal to me, because I'm like, it's not that much money. And add a couple zeros, maybe I would have been happy. But it's like 1,200. It's like, cool. I appreciate it. I'm glad it's there, especially in my case, because it is just bonus money. But yeah, no, I still need, unfortunately, way, way more than that. So, it is what it is. But it is Thursday. Yes, it is Thursday. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna eat. I shouldn't eat more pizza, but I definitely want to. I don't know if that's I can't tell if that part's the depression or the high part. So it was one of those two. Maybe a slight combination. I might do a gaming video. I'm thinking, um, I'm thinking I might do Resident Evil 3 Resistance. I was really debating it. Like I was so upset with that game. I wasn't sure I was gonna do a video with the online portion. I was just like, I should do it because it makes sense for the channel, and I kind of want to experience it. But at the same time, I was like just so hurt with that game. I was just like, I don't know if I even have the heart to just go through with it and actually freaking play the online. But I watched a video today. I watched Jacksepticeye actually. So it was like him and the usual gang, and I was like, okay, it was entertaining to actually see like a legit match go through. So I'm like, I think I'll do it. I think because I don't even have PS Plus, I would have done it. That's the thing. I have to like pay for PlayStation Plus, and then I'll go on and I'm gonna be like so upset if I go on there and I just hate the whole freaking experience. So we'll see what happens. If I do that, I'll probably end up playing like, admittedly, I'll probably jump back on some Uncharted and just play Uncharted online while super high because I love me so much Uncharted gameplay, especially online. Um, that was like the one. If they had like tournaments for that, I probably could have done it. Like I was laser focused when Uncharted 4 came out, and I've been that way ever since Uncharted 2. Like I've met people on PlayStation because of Uncharted 3, like the beta demo and stuff, and I played with people, and it was just like, I met friends that I talked to for a super long time, and they're friends on Facebook and stuff like that. So you know, Uncharted is like a really special place when it comes to that online thing because I'm not big on like like Call of Duty stuff. That's why people buy it is for the online. I never cared. I never really enjoyed the online for Call of Duty. I love the story because it's just a crazy action movie and it's like cool, that was fun, and then that's it. Like I haven't bought a Call of Duty game since two, and other than that, everyone else always they always have it because it's like it's the next shoot 'em up game. So my cousins always had it, so it's like cool. I just played through the stories and then I'm like, all right, well whatever. Zombie mode is fun, co-op zombie mode, that's great, but story, a little bit of zombie, and then I'm like, all right, I'm done with this. So I actually haven't played one since Black Ops 2. Actually, I played I think Black Ops was the last one that I played, and maybe the one that was after that, which I can't really remember. But that was it. So it's been a minute since I've actually played through like the campaign and stuff. I wanted to because like I was curious about the story, like Black Ops and I think Black Ops 2, yeah, because it goes back and forth in time, and then they have like the branching paths and stuff like that. I was like, okay, I'd love to play that one because I always like the stories, and then this one has like branching moments. So I was like, oh, they add a little bit of replay, and I think people were okay with Advanced Warfare. I don't remember story wise, but Advanced Warfare. Now they're doing the remasters and stuff like that. So it's been a minute for me, but Uncharted multiplayer is just like love the story, and then I can just enjoy the gameplay. It's very unique. Like you swing around and you climb and stuff. There's not a lot of multiplayer games where that's a key component. It's there's a ton of games where it's traversal, but not to the point where you literally like jump and climb on stuff yourself. Like you have to choose. I want to climb up this building or that building, or I want to use a grapple and like swing off of this and jump to that building. Or if someone's not paying attention, you can do instant kills on grapples and you just drop down and do an instant kill punch. So there's a lot of cool mechanics that you don't see in a lot of other multiplayer games. So if I do it, which I'm probably gonna end up playing Resistance, probably gonna be back on some Uncharted multiplayer, and I have a ton of games that I could re-download since I'll be on PS Plus again. So that'll be cool. Oh, speaking of PS Plus, Sony is doing two free games, not for PS Plus actually, but just in general. Anyone who has a PlayStation account, at least on PS4, you can get the Uncharted collection, and you can get what was the other game? Journey. Unless you're in, I want to say maybe Australia or some other place doesn't have Uncharted and they got Knack 2. I am very sorry if you were the country that got Knack 2 instead of the Uncharted franchise. But yeah, the Uncharted collection, which I think I recently talked about, where I got it for $10, and I was like, haven't even played it. Probably could have got it for free, but it's also like 45 gigs, and I was like, you know what? I'd rather just have the CD. That way I can delete it and not have to worry about it. They did say in the article that I read, though, if you delete it, it's those games where like you literally own it forever. So I might actually do Journey. I might download Journey because I had actually, when I had the PS Plus, for the rare moment that I did play through Journey and I beat that. And that's really, it's as good as everybody says. Like it's a really enjoyable game. That would be great to play high. I could probably play that again while high. But I might download that just because it's such a beautiful game, and then just delete it. And when I like feel like, oh, I should get some pictures in Journey and like go to the random locations, I might do it just to get some cool shots and just play like a cool simple game. There's no talking. You just go and you jump and you glide and you blink if you happen to run into another person. So that's always pretty cool. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for Thursday. Um, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Oh, Clone Wars tomorrow. So that's what I'll probably talk a little bit about that because I recently saw the TV spot. So I'll save that for tomorrow. So I'm not holding up this giant chunk. But yeah, that's Thursday. Pizza, less depression, but still there. Um, and currently high. Yeah, Thursday. Hello, folks. It is Friday. As you can see right now, well, you can't tell what this is, but this is an Assassin's Creed hoodie. It's actually, I believe, the very first gaming hoodie I got, now that I think about it. I should get another one. This is pretty old, so I don't actually wear it anymore, but it's from Unity, which is why it has that one there. So it's like everyone's kind of least favorite Assassin's Creed, but it was like the first one. I think I actually saw where they like made a hoodie for it. I've had this for a super long time, and it's interesting. It's not what I would normally get because it's like blue and brown, which seems weird. But I liked it, and I love Assassin's Creed, so I was like, I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna do that. I decided to wear my Star Wars shirt. I basically kept my Star Wars shirt on. Normally, I would switch to like whatever matches the gaming hoodie that I'm wearing, but today was the beginning of the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars, and the first one was amazing. It's pretty nuts. It's pretty crazy. Like I didn't realize we were going into the final 4 until I don't know if I mentioned this once again. Sorry, I always forget what I talk about, even though it's every day. But I watched the trailer for it, like the final TV spot that they had, and like the very beginning is like 4 episodes left. I'm like, crap. So only 3 episodes left, but the very beginning was insane. I absolutely loved it. So I'm excited to see how this is gonna go. I don't want it to end. For one, it's the only thing that I actually watched that's new. Although I do have my anime, I could like My Hero still comes on, and so does Boruto. But I've mentioned that here and there on the channel. Boruto is like, eh. So I don't really bother like paying much attention to that. But Clone Wars is like the only thing that I really like wait for, where it's like, oh, it's Friday, Clone Wars. Other than that, it's like, all right, I just watch stuff when I watch it, and that's pretty much it. But really great first episode. Michigan being Michigan, it snowed the past 2 days, even though it is April. Michigan, and it snowed a lot. So the thing about yesterday, it snowed, and I didn't mention it. I kind of forgotten because, in all honesty, it snowed like crazy, and then all was gone by the end of the night. Like it was probably like a tiny bit of snow left, but for the most part, like, and it snowed. So it wasn't like, oh, it kind of lightly snowed. It was heavy snow in the morning. Like you look out and it looks hazy, and by the end of the day, it was it was all melted, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like planning to kind of talk about that and stuff. I haven't checked in like the past hour or so, but I think the snow is actually still out there this time. Like it snowed really heavy again today, and it seems like it stuck this time. So I was like, okay, real weird. It's suddenly snowing now out of nowhere, but that's Michigan. I mentioned before, I remember saying this, you don't really know until you just go out there. Fortunately, you can just see snow, so that's cold. But I was like, oh, okay, looks pretty. When I look out, my back window, and it's just like, oh, it's snow and stuff, so it looks nice. But I was like, interesting. Not what I would have expected for April, but yeah. So it snowed today. Snowed pretty heavy. It snowed the past 2 days. But yeah, I didn't really do much today. It was Clone Wars. I edited a Resident Evil video, so I'll be uploading that tomorrow. Yeah, I think that was really it. I watched some YouTube videos. Better, better and better each day, I guess, considering the week that I'm going through. Still not like the greatest, but I'm feeling a bit better today. Other than that, I really didn't do that much. I worked on the video, and that was genuinely it. I feel like that's the only thing I really did. Like I watched Clone Wars. I did the review for Clone. I did review it and upload it, so I actually was like productive when I first started the day. Although I just feel like I didn't do much of anything. And I guess it's just because it took a long time to edit that one specific Resident Evil video, just because of like what I was trying to do. Like I actually did like quite a few edits in that one, so I think that's why it just seemed like it took eons to actually do it. And like I was like, man, all I did was like this one video, but and of course with all the freaking pauses and this and that, so probably just. I wish I could time. I would time it, but I'd be so mad if I actually like timed it every time it froze and just timed it all by the end just to see how long it took. But I would imagine, considering it's like an hour-long video, when I go through it has to be at least half an hour. I feel like, even though for the most part, it's just me going through a game, but if I have to do the edits and stuff, I feel like it's almost half an hour just waiting. And I'm sure that's not the case, but I did mention before, it took me 4.5 minutes to do like, I don't know, maybe I didn't mention that. I think I did, but it took me 4.5 minutes to do like this simple cut um, the day before yesterday when I did the other Resident Evil episode. Or I guess that was actually yesterday. Um, and it took me a million years just to edit like this one little clip, and it took like over 4.5 minutes. So it probably takes at least like half an hour, especially for today where I was going through and doing a lot of edits. It was probably like an extra half hour editing, just technically waiting for the thing to like load and register like I want to move this here, or I want to do this, or I don't want to do that. Like sometimes that's another thing when it freezes. I'll click on something and then somehow it registers as me like doing like a drag and drop, so it'll like move it around, and I'm like, I that's not what I did. I just wanted to like click on it, and somehow it registered like a click and a hold, and I'm trying to move it. I'm like, how does it even register? Like it freezes on a click. So I edited a video today. I reviewed another one, and that was pretty much it. So not much on a Friday. Saw some really cool Star Wars stuff. I heard that well, I shouldn't say I heard, but I saw an article where they said they're actually going to release the final episode on Star Wars Day, which is May 4th. So that'll be awesome because I think the 4th is a Monday, so it'll come out on Friday, and then it'll come out on that Monday. You won't have to wait a full week to watch the last two episodes. So that's pretty awesome. So I'm pretty excited for that. That's still, a couple weeks out, but that's pretty cool. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. That will also be, of course, with it being May, I'm curious to see if I'll actually be back at work because we're supposed to, May 30th is the end. So, or April 30th, sorry, is the end. So we'll see what happens with that. But for now, it's like, it comes out on Star Wars Day. So either way, even if I am at work, I'll end up watching it. As soon as I get home, that'll be like the first thing I do. I'll probably like exercise and shower and be like, all right, that's out of the way. Boom, Star Wars, Clone Wars time, series finale. So I'm looking forward to that. Sucks to see it end. It's one of those bittersweet things whenever it's a show that you really love, especially because it, came back after being canceled years ago. It's like very few things get that crazy revival moment. So I was super happy for it. And it just sucks. It's like, oh man, it's already coming to an end. So I was not expecting that, but absolutely love it. The way they do the intro for the final 4 episodes is different than the rest of the show. So that's been pretty cool. And I won't give that away for anyone who may not have watched it yet. If you're like waiting for the whole season to be out or anything like that, just I won't give it away. But it's different, and it feels different too. And I was like, man, this is it. This is the end of it. So very excited to see these last 3 episodes. But not much for Friday. Also, of course, new location. Well, not really new location, but so you can see all my little knickknacks and stuff. But this is the like collector's edition shelf with like the God of War and Mirror's Edge up at the top. And I was like, I haven't done one where I like sat down right here. I don't think I've done one over there either. In like the normal bookshelf where most of my videos are filmed. I don't think I've done one like kneeling down because that's actually where all my books are and stuff. So you can kind of see them when I do most of my videos because it's at like arm shoulder length in my chair. But I'll probably do that tomorrow and just kind of sit over there, and you guys can like scan through all my nerdy books and stuff like that and see what little knickknacks I have on my bottom 2 shelves for tomorrow. But as far as Friday, that's pretty much it. It is also basically midnight. It's 11:33 right now. So of course, once again, doing this super last minute. And I realized, as I was going through editing, I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, I kind of want to do something with the snow, and I was like, I don't know how that would really look. I'd have to basically be outside for it to look right, or do a bunch of extra adjustments to make it look right, where you can even see outside but still see me. Which it probably wouldn't be that crazy because I actually have a spotlight for that, so it would probably work easily. So I might do that tomorrow. I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens. I might just show the snow. Who knows? But other than that, it's Friday. Not too much to it. Did some editing. Did an actual review. Still thinking at some point might do Boruto. Still have to do my freaking supernatural stuff, so that'll probably still be not until next week. But that's Friday. Not too much to it. So it is Saturday, the end of the really shitty week that I've had. It's actually early. I'm doing this early. It is 1:32, so I'm actually doing it early in the day. I think I can officially say they've lost my records because the first 2 records, the Doom and the Resident Evil 2 one, the like most important one, they're still just in transit, and that was like 4 days ago. Everything else is in Detroit. Like all my other stuff, well, the Mega Man ones, which I ordered the day after the Resident Evil and Doom one. That departed the Pittsburgh one. Um, and even the Doctor Strange robe is like in Detroit, and the Resident Evil One record that I bought is already in the Detroit regional facility. So I think it's official that I don't know what to do about that because I don't know how that goes as far as like getting my money back and stuff like that. And even with getting my money back and stuff, it's still the fact that it's really hard to come by that Resident Evil 2 record. I've seen a few online, up to like $80, stuff like that, compared to what I paid, which was probably a more normal price. So it really sucks that that's happened, but I think it's fairly safe to say, and it's possible that I could still get them. Who knows when? Because they could be somewhere, but I don't know. When it says in transit for 4 days, it's gone. Like it's gone. So I'm super upset about that. So that's a great cap to the end of the shitty week that I've had already. Also, this is the other bookshelf. So there you go. Some cute faces. That's why I wore the hat. It's at least something randomly cute because obviously I'm not happy. But yeah, cutesy faces. That's Ophelia. That's Gizmo, which is totally based off of Gremlins. On books and stuff. I don't know if So I got my Scott Pilgrim up here. Obviously, I need to get the last couple. I've only read the first book, by the way. I was like, I'll just buy them all and then I'll read them all in order. So I've only read the first book, and that was a long time ago. So I'm gonna reread it, and once I eventually get the last, was it 7 altogether? Yeah. So once I get the last 3, then I'll just go through and I'll read the entire series. I haven't read this. Actually, I haven't read anything that's up here. I've read through probably more of these, which are like the little Loot Crate villain hero. It's like the weirdest villains and weirdest heroes, Stilt Man, Condiment Man, stuff like that. So I've read a little bit of that. These are from Loot Crate. This is just a journal. It's just a Star Wars journal, so it just looks sweet. This is the Supernatural Bestiary. I've read through that. I've mentioned before it has some amazing art. The Simpsons Futurama crossover Crisis. I saw it during Free Comic Book Day, and I was like, I have to buy that because I love Futurama, I love The Simpsons, and I was like, I knew the comic existed, I just hadn't read it, and it's like a hard cover. Actually, I'll just show you guys this one because this one's super cool. I love this. So like, that is so sweet to me. So I love this. Haven't read it. Have not read it. It includes the bonus reprint of Simpsons comic #1 and more surprises inside, which I don't believe I've ever looked at. But that's what it looks like, without this stuff. Something slid in here. Felt like something was sliding. Oh, it would be the Simpsons reprint comic. Boom, there you go. And there's that. So, yeah, never read any of this. Never even really cracked it open. But I got it. So, there's that, I guess. But, yeah, it's pretty cool. Because I like The Simpsons and I like Futurama. This back piece is actually really awesome too. It's all of the Simpsons. It's hard to see with the print, but if you can make out some of the characters, they like matched up the Simpsons characters with their Futurama counterparts. So like the gangsters are like right in the middle here. Whoops. And they're like shooting up the robot gangsters and stuff like that. And that one robot that always tries to stab people, he's always like, that guy is actually robbing a bank with Snake. Which totally makes sense. That's funny. I like that. I never actually even looked at that, so that's pretty cool. Robot Devil is messing with Flanders, as he should. That's pretty cool. I like that. So that's new for me. I hadn't looked at that yet. But yeah, that is the Simpsons Futurama crossover Crisis. That tends to be how it goes with me in comics. I'll buy a lot of stuff and then never read it because it looks super cool. Like, this one right here is actually Django and Zorro, like Django Unchained and Zorro team up is set after the movie. I knew it was out. I saw it in the store one day. It's the full collection. And I was like, I want that because I like Django Unchained. And I was like, I would love to see that story like play out. So bought the comic. Haven't read it yet. I've read all my Walking Dead stuff. That's like the only thing I've got. Like Walking Dead, I buy those and that is it. I will sit there and I will read through like 300 pages of The Walking Dead. I still have to get #4. It's the last one too. It's the end of the series. And I was going to get it. I planned on getting it for my birthday because it actually came out around October last year. And I just didn't end up doing it. So I have to pick up #4 and that'll be my full collection for The Walking Dead. And that's pretty interesting. It'll be crazy to see, like this last chunk of the story. It covers like, it's almost like 2 years worth of the comic per compendium. So that's kind of how it is. And I just wait. I just wait and I wait, and then I'm like, all right, I'll probably recap a little bit from the last piece just to be like, okay, where did I leave off? Final page, that's sad, and then I continue. I continue into the next story. It's always ending on some super tragic cliffhanger, and where I'm at now is actually pretty much where the TV show is. So the end of, and I won't say what happens, but for anyone who's currently still watching the show, and I have to catch up on the newest season. I have to wait till it gets on Netflix because I don't have AMC. So I've been waiting for like the new season to come out on Netflix. But the not this most recent season, but the last season, it wasn't the season finale, which would have made more sense. But they did a really weird thing with the last season where it was like the episode before the finale should have just been the finale. Like I don't know why they bothered doing that because the actual season finale was stupid. And I was like, this is a lame season finale episode. Why didn't they just cut it and just be like, there you go, or just switch the episodes? Like they literally could have done the exact same thing, and it would have made even more sense to actually do that, and then the characters suffer the consequences type of deal. But I was like, whatever, whatever, whatever. But the last season, the episode before the season finale, that thing that happened, that's where I am. That's where number 3 ends. That is exactly where that ends. And it was interesting to watch because I was freaking out watching the episodes. I was like, okay, I know what happens in the comics, and the comics and the show are very separated. So I always wonder what's going to happen when they do like big moments. Like it'll be like, okay, these characters go off in this direction and then maybe somebody dies, and in the show it could be the same characters, but they might not even have that moment, and it might be for two totally different people, stuff like that. So sometimes they keep it the same, sometimes it's different. So I was really curious going into this season. I was like, okay, this is a really big moment in the comic book. What's going to happen in the show? So I was very surprised to see how it ended up turning out because I was like, I don't know what's I was curious just how close they were going to follow. So I was waiting for that one because I was like, I know what's going to happen, but it was kind of freaking me out because I'm like, well, I know what I saw in the comic book, but they might change that. They might keep it the same though. But if they do, that'll be sad. So it was interesting to watch. So that's where I'm at right now. Is pretty much caught up with the TV show, and when I get to number 4, I'll be going to the end, which they seem to be introducing in Fear the Walking Dead. They've kind of talked about some of the stuff that's in like the end of the actual comic book. So excuse me, I'm curious about how that's going too. I have to catch up on that most recent season. I actually like Fear the Walking Dead. I know a lot of people probably don't. I mean, heck, a lot of people fell off of the the regular Walking Dead, so I'm sure a lot of people don't even give a crap about Fear the Walking Dead. But I really like Fear. I really like Fear the Walking Dead. I thought they did some surprising stuff with that show. I thought they did a really good job with that, and it was like, man, this show it's kind of like the original series where like things just change at a good pace, and it's in ways that you probably wouldn't expect. Like things just rotate, and it's like, wow, I didn't see that one coming. So it's been pretty crazy. Like the last 2 seasons of Fear the Walking Dead were pretty wild. I was like, I didn't think any of this was about to happen, and things just shifted in ways I never would have expected. But I like both the well, I like Fear the Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, I'm kind of in the same camp as everybody else, where it's like, it's not as cool as it used to be. It feels just much slower pace, and there's just a ton of moments where it's just like, this is annoying to watch because it's like, um, when Negan was introduced, like the 90-minute season finale that they had, and it was a boring episode where they did nothing for 90 minutes. And I was like, this could have been a 60-minute episode because most of the time in that season finale was them driving and be like, oh, we can't go this way. Let's back up. Like the whole episode was them pissing their pants. And then at the end, they got captured. And I was like, okay, cool. That was a boring episode. And then it ended with like the big cliffhanger that everyone knew was going to happen anyway. And it was like, why build up this character to end on a cliffhanger without an answer? So for me, it was annoying, and especially coming back to it. Sorry for spoilers, like a few seasons ago, but they did exactly what they did in the comic, and that really annoyed me because I was like, all they did was exactly what they did in the comic. They didn't even switch it up, and I was like, why make people wait for that? Why not end it on this crazy moment, and then everyone's just left with that for the season? Like it just makes more. It's just a better finale. It's just better all around to just end on that big moment instead of ending on like, well, who died? It was just like everyone knew somebody was gonna die, and then it was just like, well, somebody's gonna die. And I was like, well, why'd you build up the whole season with that tease, and then you end it with the same tease, and we have to wait an entire season, and then you just do exactly what happened in the comics? And it's like, well, that's not entertaining. That's just me waiting for something that already happened, even for people that didn't watch it or didn't read the comics. But either way, I'm okay with the show. It's interesting. I'm still curious to see where it's gonna go and how it's gonna officially end, but wait, gotta wait and see how this one ends as well, and pick up Compendium 4, and eventually get the rest of Scott Pilgrim. Eventually read Scott Pilgrim. Eventually read everything that I buy, because the only thing I think I actually read when as I was buying it was the Back to the Future comic, and I only bought like the first three issues, so I have to buy the collector's or not collector's edition, but I have to buy like the full volume set of that now because I was reviewing that week by week, and then eventually I just fell behind and I was like, and it's gone. So that's how that is for now. But yeah, I just wanted to do this because I was already annoyed, and I was just like, cool. I'm pretty certain my records are lost. I would love it, if next week. Hey, I would love it if today something happened, but I just don't see it happening. So I'm gonna have to think about that and figure it out. And I don't know. That has been a really crappy week. So that is how it's been. Hopefully, this has still been somewhat entertaining. Sorry it was depressing and just the week of depression and crap like that. But hopefully, something was good. A bunch of the snow melted, so there's not really anything to show, by the way, because I can like kind of see through my little blinds. Like it's all gone. It's Michigan. It's frozen one day. Just weird. We got weird weather up here. That's just how it is. But thanks for checking this out. Of course, I still hope you guys are being safe, staying sane. Um, not too much longer for Michigan. It's April 18th, so we're supposed to be going until the 30th. So, not too much longer. I wish it was longer because despite the depression for this week, I still prefer to just not work. That's just my personal thing. Um, so we'll see. We'll see how things play out. I just realized I have these two little things. Like you can barely see them right here. So I will save those for next week if I even remember to actually take them from right here. I kind of forget I put them there. Um, so hopefully I'll remember that next week, and you guys will see those. So that's something random to look forward to. Some nerdy stuff. I was thinking about that yesterday too. I'll probably start picking out random things to talk about, like some of my weird collectors stuff. So that'll probably be the theme for next week. Oh, God of War, yeah, God of War hoodie. You can't tell. Also, you can tell my pajama pants. But yeah, this is my God of War hoodie. I got this from Loot Crate as well, just like the Mass Effect one. I prefer this way more, much better crate. I got this. I got some cool cards. These all have like art and stuff on them, which I love. Like that. Boom, there you go. I'll just show you that one right there, even though I'm covering his face up. These are really cool. I don't play with them or anything like that. They're just really cool pieces. I think, yeah, all these, I have like runic dice. I think it goes up to 20. And like, I think one of the, if it was, whoops, perfect. Um, there's always one number that's a rune. And I believe that should be 20. And that may or may not be upside down. I don't know which way it would actually be, but it looks like an O and a V. Or, yeah, I think that's right. I think. I wanted to, there it is. So I think that's right. I don't know, but each one is like that. It goes up to 20, and they all have that on there. Actually, all of my God of War stuff is like right here. This is just a paperweight, but this also came because I bought it early, so I got like this little thing with Kratos' weapon and Atreus' weapon as well. Just a paperweight of the axe, and then, jeez, I got a bunch of stuff up here actually. So, because I can see it here. This is just a cloth thing for all of the dye. And then this is a mug, whoops, that is representative of one of the vases that you find in the game. And it's also cracked. It's like, it was cracked as soon as I took it out. I didn't realize that until it was too late. So I never sent anything to Loot Crate, like, hey, can I get another one? I should have, but I didn't. So I will never actually use this. I probably wouldn't anyway. But I would never use this because it already has a hairline fracture that's just all the way around. So if this drops at all, this thing's just going to pop right off. Like, you can see the line, like, right on the top. But I love it. It looks cool. I think there was a part where the wrapping wasn't, like, perfect, too. That was something else. It was, like, crooked or something weird like that. But I still like it. Still pretty cool. And that's all my God of War stuff. Oh, there's Rick. Peace Among Worlds, or whatever it was. I can't remember now. But thanks for checking this out. Hopefully next week will be less depressing. If not, then sorry, that's just how it is. Trust me, I don't want it to be that way either. But thanks for checking this out. Like I said, hope you guys are staying safe, being entertained. Hopefully we'll be out of this soon, but who knows? I'm still worried about what's going to happen when my job says, like, all right, we're back to work. Because I'm like, I don't want to be. Like, I'm still going to be freaking out about, going back to work. So we'll see if they extend it, or if they don't. It'll be weird. It'll be weird either way. So, we're moving towards something, but who knows what. But thanks for checking this out. Stay safe, and I will see you guys next week.